Thinking about going on debt review? It is a great process, especially if you are over indebted, but it is not for everyone. Welcome, my name is Jacques, and in today's video I'll be breaking down the 7 biggest disadvantages of the debt review process. You need to consider these before making your final decision. But before we get into that, I would like to ask you to please subscribe to my channel, or if you find this video helpful, please comment, like and share. It really does help. Okay, so let's get into the 7 biggest disadvantages of the debt review process you need to consider. Let's do it. The first thing you need to know is if you go on debt review, your name will be flagged at the credit bureaus that you are on debt review. The reason for this is if you enter the debt review process, the whole aim of the process is for you to settle the existing debts you've got, or to be in a plan where you can settle these debts to get them off your name. So the reason why you are being flagged at the credit bureau is that you are on debt review is that we don't want you to get new debt, because that will defeat the purpose. The aim of the process is for you to settle your existing debts, to clear your credit profile, and to start fresh. So if we're just going to allow you to pile up debt on debt, you're never going to get out of that debt. So that you just need to realize. So the moment you go on debt review, you will be flagged at the credit bureau that you are on debt review, and you won't be allowed to take on any new debt because of that. The first thing you need to, it can take a couple of years to complete. Usually people do it between 3 to 5 years, but it does depend on how much debt you've got and what your affordability is. What is also important to remember here is that the term is not carved in stone. You can make additional payments towards your debt at any stage, and that will obviously reduce the term. But whilst you are on debt review for that term, you are not allowed to qualify for any new debt, as explained previously. Debt review lower your monthly debt repayment installment and combine it into one payment. But you obviously still need to cover your groceries, rent, school fees, those kinds of expenses. So in some cases it might still feel that the installment is high and that you are living from paycheck to paycheck, but just remember that you are getting a reduction in interest on your debt, and therefore you are paying it back at much more favorable interest rates. You are only protected if you pay. If you go on debt review, you've got the legal protection that creditors can't take away any of your assets, and they also can't take any judgments or garnishes against you. But that is only in place if you pay. If you start skipping payments or stop paying your debt review, that legal protection will fall away very quickly. You can't just exit when you want. Debt review is a commitment. It's a commitment you make that you want to settle the existing debts you've got. So especially if a court order is granted on your debt review, you can't just get out of it. In certain cases you can, however. Please watch my video on debt review removal. It is on my channel. That will give you more information on that. But just know that it is a commitment from your side to settle your existing debts, and you need to be in it purposefully to pay your debts, and therefore it is not that easy to get out of it. There are fees involved. Nothing is for free. So there's setup fees, there's legal fees, and there is aftercare fees that you need to know. So when you apply for the process, discuss that with your debt counselor so that you exactly know how it is deducted and how it is payable. All debt must be included. So you can't pick and choose which debts you want to pay under debt review and then still have a credit card on the side here or something like that. It doesn't work like that. So if you go on the process, all your debt must be included. In some cases, you can ask for your bond to be excluded, but that's entirely up to the creditor whether they will allow that or not. So just bear in mind that if you go onto the process, you are all in with all your creditors. The reason for that is just, certain creditors can't have privy over other creditors. So the creditors that are under the debt review process, they now all of a sudden get lower interest rates, but the ones that are outside of the debt review process, they can still charge higher interest rate. So it's not fair towards creditors as well. That's the main reason for that. So yeah, just know that if you go on debt review, it's all in. All your debt must be included in the process. If you're struggling with debt, debt review can be a life-saving option. But before you get into it, make sure that you understand everything, the advantages and the disadvantages. If you are in a situation where you are over indebted and you need to speak to a debt counselor, you're welcome to contact me. My advice is free, friendly, and fair. My contact details are in the description below. Please pop me an email, send me a WhatsApp. I'll be happy to discuss. Thank you for watching.